Good morning, boys and girls. Today I am going to talk to you about the jobs of a bumblebee. So, what do you think the job of a bumblebee is? What does a bumblebee do? That's right, a bumblebee makes honey. So a bumblebee will fly around our garden and it will land in flowers and it will collect something called nectar, which is like a really sugary sweet water, and it will take it back to its beehive and it will make honey. It will. But whilst the bumblebee is collecting nectar to make honey, he's doing another job and he doesn't even know he's doing it. So I want to talk to you about that today. So first of all, I'll just show you this little flower. So I have cut a flower from my garden. It doesn't have roots on it, but that's just because I cut the stem, so the roots are still underneath the soil. But it has got its stem, it's got its leaves, and then at the top it's got some little pink flowers. So it's got two pink flowers, and then the other little pink things you can see are buds, which mean that they haven't opened yet, but they will open and they'll look like the pink flowers that you can see here. It's not focusing very well, but can you see right in the middle of those two pink flowers, there's a yellowy colour? Well, that yellow is something called pollen, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So we've got our buzzy bee, and our bumblebee is flying around the garden. He's flying around and he's ready to have a drink of nectar, and he's looking down and he's thinking, ooh, what a pretty blue flower I'm going to land on there. So he lands on the blue flower, amazing flower, and whilst he's there, he has a big drink of nectar. So he sticks a tongue out that's like a straw, and he sticks it right down the middle of the flower, the yellowy bit, and he slurps up all of the sweet, sweet water called nectar in the middle, and that's what he uses to make honey. But whilst he's there, the yellow part of this flower that I showed you, pollen, that sticks to the bumblebee's back, because the bumblebee's back and his legs are very, very fuzzy and things can stick to them easily, like pollen. So while he's in the blue flower drinking his nectar, the pollen from the blue flower is sticking to the bumblebee's back. You see it? It's all stuck. This is just pretend pollen, but it's all stuck to his back. And now the bumblebee's thought, oh, all of the nectar's been drank from the blue flower, I'm going to go to a different one. So off he goes and he flies around the garden and he says, look at the lovely yellow flower. I'm going to go and drink from that. And when he goes to drink from the yellow flower and he sticks down his tongue, can you see what happened to all of the pollen from the blue flower? It's fallen onto the yellow flower. So all of that pollen from this flower has stuck to his back and now travelled to the yellow flower, and it has fallen off. And that pollen falls down the middle of the flower, and there's a little seed inside that's quite soft, and it will make the seed nice and hard so that we can grow new plants, new flowers, new fruits. So it's really important that pollen goes from one flower to another, and the bumblebee does a very important job, and he doesn't even know he's doing it. He just thinks he's making honey, but he's not. So they're very, very, very helpful. So he's having a drink now in the yellow flower. And what do you think is going to happen? All of the pollen from the yellow flower is going to stick to the bumblebee's back and his legs. And now he's going to fly off around the garden again. And he's going to say, what a beautiful red flower. Let's land on the red flower, and he lands down and he has a drink, and what's happened when he's having his drink? The pollen's fallen onto the red flower, and it'll fall down the middle and it'll make the seed hard, ready to grow a new flower, a new plant, or a new fruit. So we are very thankful for bumblebees because they make us honey, but they also help grow our fruits and our vegetables and our plants and our flowers. So they're very, very kind little bumblebees, and they're just busy doing their jobs. So very, very, very thankful for bumblebees. So I hope you like that. I'm going to give you some little links that mummy or daddy can click on, and they've got pictures of real bumblebees, because this is just our pretend bumblebee, but they got pictures of real bumblebees, and if you look closely you'll see lots of yellow all over the bumblebee's back and his legs, and that is the pollen. And if you are in your garden or you go to the park and you have a little walk, look for the bumblebees, because they're very busy this time of year, because all of the flowers opened in spring, and the bumblebees are going around to try and get nectar from all of those flowers, ready to take to the hive and make honey. And while they're doing it, they're getting pollen stuck to them, and they are taking it to different flowers to help grow new flowers and plants. So well done, boys and girls, for listening. Thank you very much, and I hope we see each other very, 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 very soon. Okay, bye.